What's up, guys? Okay, so we got a new camera. The autofocus works great, but this whole video is filmed with the old camera, so just bear with us through this video, see what we have to show you, and then everything coming forward is going to be with this new Sony, which works exceptionally good on autofocus, so you won't have to worry about watching some blurry sections. Okay, let's see if we can get him to talk, boys. He's not going to. He might if you catch him off guard on accident. Okay, so we haven't done any updates on the comp car in a little bit here. Here we are. We're underneath. That's what you get for right now, is underneath. Winters got rebuilt a while ago. Subframe kind of got refreshed and repaired. It had a little bit of damage on, I think we showed you guys this already. This area, Mark had like ground a groove in there and then did multiple passes, repainted it. This was originally powder coat. We're not gonna send just that, you know, back to powder coat for just that right now. Fixed it, back together. If it starts to crack again over this season, we'll retire that subframe and do another one for next year. Driveline's all in. I don't even think we've shown you guys that. Samsonus is cleaned up and rebuilt. ACT clutch is hidden from you guys inside of here. Motor, same bottom end. We already went through that with you guys. New top fin, new head on there. Check this out. Brand new Treadstone intercooler. In tank, little elbow that we do custom. So it's real short run of charge piping over to the Hypertune. Let's see what other cool updates. There's some other stuff happening inside the car. I'm not gonna jump up there right now with you guys. What I wanted to show you specifically right now is Tycon Industries. They sent us some really cool stuff to finish off this season's refresh. We're gonna try some new stuff that we haven't done before in the engine bay and with the exhaust, like all kinds of really cool stuff's about to go down. Let's check out some of the details that Tycon does. They'll send you these pre-cut pie cuts. So it's a 5-pack, and this one is 45 total if you stacked them all together. You welded all of them together. These are 3.5 inch, then we have, these are 4 inch. 1.2 mil, 4 inch pie cuts, total 45 degrees. They may have one that's in a different, I don't know if they do or not. I didn't really think about that, if there's one that's like less degrees, so all 5 together make less than 45 degrees, but you can always just use these amongst with some of your own cuts, pie cuts that you would make, to do any and every angle pretty much that you would need. Going over here, there's some hardware. So there's titanium hardware. This is super lightweight, so you can only use this for, you know, certain things because this is M6, but they're pretty cool dress up bolts and they're lighter weight, so we're going to utilize some of those that they've provided. We have some exhaust hanger material here, and then like your weld bungs that you'll need for stuff when you're putting your O2 sensors in there, EGTs or whatever it may be that you need your bungs. I think it's an O2 sensor bung. Yeah, it's O2. This is 1/8 MPT, but I also got a 3/8 MPT sensor, and this is in titanium because I don't want to tell you what it's for, but you guys might have already guessed, but I have some really cool changes happening. Let's say the front half of my car, and when you guys see it, you're gonna appreciate the work that we're doing right now. Check this out. This is motorcycle exhaust. We'll have this, like, this is with slip fits, and you spring attach them together. It has little fasteners that you'll just get a couple weld beads on your TIG welder on there, and then you connect a spring from that one over to the other one. Here's a slip fit, and then your slip fit will stay together. It's a lighter weight, you don't have to run a V-band. Lots of cool things about it. Then we got a tight 90 2.5 inch bend here, a 2.5 to 3 transition, and then some 3 inch titanium. Not gonna tell you what that's for, guys. You'll find out soon. And then, since when you're building exhaust, you wouldn't wanna, okay, you could do all titanium, you could even do your dump tubes in titanium, but you guys know how hard we are on the race car and the backfires, the anti-legs. There's too much heat, I believe, in our situation to last a whole season. I don't really want to get it to the other side of the country and be like, oh, my downpipe has a crack in it because of getting it glowing hot over and over and over and over and then cooling it down hot. Stainless downpipe, slip fit to titanium exhaust starting like here. Full titanium back there. We'll do stainless up this way. And then dump tubes, since they're gonna have fire just shooting through them basically out of the Turbo Smart gates, we are going to do that out of stainless. Got a lot of fab work, a lot of welding ahead of us. I always like updating things and then showing you guys how we updated it. Maybe there's something to learn from what we're doing. We'll show you everything after we did it, but we're not gonna film the entire process. Too time consuming. Some weld rod and some 4-inch straight in there. If you guys haven't heard of Tycon, go check them out. Tell them thank you, because they really helped me out this season. Stay tuned for what we're gonna build. Okay guys, what we're doing here, we thought we'd show you, because like these are not made to work together. These are made to work together. This is a Tycon V-band. We measured all kinds of measurements on it, but right now we have, yeah, you guys hear a V8 in the background. There's a Corvette. Okay, Corvettes are cool though. So we're at 63 millimeters, and what we're measuring is this raised lip. See how there's the lip in there? And we're measuring, we're 63.75 millimeters right there. And what we need is it to sit into this one, which means we have enough meat there to machine it so that this will sit in there. It's just not correct yet. And this half is aluminum. And then what we did is put them together, measure how deep they are from this side to this side where the V-band will press it together. This one's like 11.8 millimeters, and this one from this side to that side is more like 12.15 millimeters, something like that. The V-band wouldn't be perfect, but then you guys have to remember this will sit inside there. When this is sitting inside there, that's going to add some material thickness. And so if we had machinists help us, or we do it on the lathe, whatever we do to make these two fit together properly, which they don't right now, but if we do that and add that O-ring in there, then once we utilize the original Tycon V-band, I think that everything will be within tolerance or even a little thicker, and then it'll really squish them together and it will hold boost. And that's all we're going to tell you guys. We have to custom fix this, modify it just like everything else on a race car to make it work, so we're going to go do that. How's it going, everyone? Been a while since we updated you on the Pro car. You guys know we're redoing the back a little bit for how the nitrous bottle would be easier. We showed you that. We talked about needing to redo, because we got a new exhaust manifold, redoing the exhaust. We talked about needing to redo charge piping. Since I crashed at Irwindale, we had to rebuild some stuff in the front. So I'm going to show you guys all of what we've been up to, kind of like fill you in. We will film a little bit more here in the next couple days. We've been just trying to like catch up on stuff. Let's talk about turbos right now though. Here is a 9280 EFR. You can tell it's an EFR, a second gen EFR basically, if it has the black anodized wheel. This one does. Like a 9180 would have had a silver just billet wheel, like raw machined, I mean. They're all billet. We used to have a 9274 which also had the black, because 9174 would have been just raw. What do the differences in the numbers mean? It doesn't have anything to do with the inducer and exducer size. It has to do with the size of inside of here is where they get the 80. So previously 74 would have had a different hot side. So I have one here I can show you guys. We'll grab it and we'll compare it so you get the differences. So it's the same AR, A over R, so it's the same size housing. That part, in a sense, is very similar, but where this one tapers here, because inside there, it was a 74 millimeter, and inside here is going to be 80 millimeter. And just for reference, I should probably grab a caliper and show you guys. So that would help you kind of understand that this back wheel here is larger on the 80 series. The front side though is identical size, so I think you could switch your front cover and be one and the same, and there wouldn't be any difference there. So let's measure this here. That's like 80. This is a rough, you guys get the point. 74. Come over here, 74 is not at the edge. 80. You can see the differences in there when you look. This one has way more taper. This one only tapers at the very end. Why am I switching? Okay, I made like 940 horsepower all in last year. Never ran it that way. That's what I would make on the dyno. I would turn it down to like 890 for like my higher setting, because I just don't want to overspin the turbo. I monitor wheel speed when I'm on the dyno. I kind of know what it's gonna do, and then I have my boost settings 1 through 5. and I just wouldn't use 5 because I don't want to hurt my motor, don't want to blow it up. That's one of the reasons you've never seen me ever hurt a motor, because I'm thinking about what's happening inside the motor and what the turbo's doing, and like I'm cautious with things because I don't want to, you know, blow it up. There's no reason to break it. To get more power, we went with a 9280. It might make more boost a little bit because we won't have as much back pressure. We still can't spin the turbo past a speed that they're gonna say is safe, so we're gonna keep the speeds down. We'll monitor that. The reason it should flow better is because there's less back pressure, and it should maybe let us run like 970 wheel horsepower. Could be like our safest high setting. We still don't know the answer to this because each motor is going to be slightly different. That, like, you could say, do you have data from someone that had a 3 liter or 3.4, but maybe their motor was built slightly different, compression ratios different, all these things. So I need to know the data for myself. So we're going to go do that on the dyno, you know, in a couple weeks here, month, something like that. So we're switching to that. It is going to make it slightly leggier, but to fix that, we'll just shoot some more nitrous in there. We were shooting a lot of nitrous in there last year. At the end of the year, we changed it so it came on earlier and stayed on a little bit longer. We can't really change much more of that because if you go too early, you'll hurt your motor. We're not going to do that. So what we're going to do is sample it that way at the beginning of the year and try and switch a different Hypertune intake manifold with direct injection nitrous. So if we do that, that can also be a little bit more efficient. And then later we could do 2 stages, one that helps spool it and the other one that ramps all the way through. That's something for another year, but we could still do single stage direct nitrous this year. Excited about this larger turbo. We were mocking up and building exhaust already on a 9274. I got the okay from Borg Warner that all the dimensions, like on the exterior, are exactly the same. So downpipe will bolt up, meaning that this flange here and there are in one and the same spot. It looks like they are, but you'd have to do a bunch of measurements, but they say it's identical, which is a good thing because we built it off a 9274. So let's go take a look at some of this. Check this out. A bunch of pie cuts. Tycon sent us some material. Mark has been hard at work welding. This only took him like 20 minutes, right, Mark?
Yeah, sounds good.
Can you imagine? We counted, there's like 26 welds, I think, on here. Like full all the way around 4 inches. And so just imagine the headache that's involved with that, like just staring at light all day for like 2 days welding. I think it came out really good. We back purged it. Let's go over to the fab table and check out some of the cool stuff that Tycon sent us. So they did send us the slip fit stuff. So these are made by TIG Aesthetics, but it's like a kit, and they work closely with Tycon and Stainless Bros, which is the same company. What do these do, guys? When you're back purging, you need 2 regulators. So we have that. We have like our setup that we would use on other customer stuff prior to this, but we didn't have those cups like that you put into the pipe. So what do? Let's say you're welding this end of the pipe. You'd shove this in here, boom, it goes in. This is a 4-inch one, so it sits in there. It has this little like screen. It'll basically just, you're filling it from the other end. This will be like what you're working on. This piece of exhaust is what you're working on. It's on your fab table, and you run another hose out of this regulator with a silicone hose down to a nipple that goes in to either one of these. It just presses in there with like a barb fitting. You'll churn up your regulator to what your desired pressure would be, and you're just flowing gas inside. Of course, on your TIG torch on the outside, you're also flowing gas through here. So both the inside and the outside are getting argon and keeping your welds equally penetrated inside and outside. You just get a super good solid weld that's not going to crack later or fail. Cool thing is they send them this kit. It's like a $300 kit, but it comes with multiple different sizes all the way down to, you know, like 1.25. So you can do tiny little things, and all your dump tubes are 1.75. That'd be like this guy here, all the way up to 4-inch exhaust. They probably even have larger, but that you probably have to buy individually. So these are some of the surprises I wanted to show you guys. Look at this, is Stainless Bros stainless. Once the car's down lower, we could show you that later. We still have a bunch more fab stuff to do. Right now, we had cut off where it used to have, you know, because we like to run these so there's a little bit of movement. We used to have our exhaust hanger somewhere here, but it's gonna, we changed positions because the exhaust used to come here. As you can see, it's slapping right there. We're going to run a hanger here and maybe a secondary hanger here. It'll have a little movement. Titanium's known to crack, so we're not sure. We're beating the crap out of this car, and when you come off the bank at some of the tracks, there's potential it's gonna slap. Live and learn, so we'll find out how it goes. We got it tucked as high as we could go. The slip fit stuff is not done yet. There's little springs that Tycon sells where you weld the little U-hook here, U-hook here. One will be titanium, one stainless. You connect the springs, and we'll do like, we're gonna try doing 2, 1 on each side, but I feel like we gotta do 4, 2 on each side. We're gonna see if like what it's like when we do 1 on each side, kind of test the tension and rigidity of it, and then probably add another set. These are them right here. This is the Tycon one, this is the Stainless Bros one. See this little U right here? That will get welded. You do like a couple weld beads on that, on either side of that, hold it in place, hook the spring on there, then do this on the titanium. Whoa, these ones are way lighter. Titanium one on the other side. And then they supplied us with like this kit of 5, so we'll bring extras in the trailer just in case you guys, you know, something happens. They even make exhaust hanger material, so this is what we're gonna be working with on the exhaust hanger material. They make a billet one, and then they make a tubular one. We use the tubular because I think it'd be a little bit better. We do have this, but not sure if we're gonna use that too. We're not sure yet. We might need to, but we have something else we're gonna do. We're not gonna show you guys yet, so we still need keep like, we got 4 of these. We're gonna need 2 more of these for something else, or we're gonna have to ask Tycon for like 2 or 3 other little bits. Okay, going back to what we talked about like a week ago, or it was actually like 3 days ago. This is a titanium V-band, and it didn't fit with the aluminum one. We went to the machinist and we brought him 2 pieces, and he machined it for us, so it fits perfectly together now. Now we can weld this side onto the turbo, one of which we just had 2, so it's extra in case there's a mistake or whatever. And then that's what it looks like with the O-ring in there, and it'll clamp nice and tight. It's gonna work perfect. He just had to machine that instep a little larger. And when I'm saying we weld it to the turbo, we cut this part of the Borg-Warner housing off and we weld that on. It does already have like a flange for where you could put a V-band on there, but that's a 2-inch, and we want this to be 2.5. So we cut that and we port the inside. If you're wondering what that looks like, this is what it's gonna look like. This one has not been ported. Let me show you a ported one, I think is on the car. So each year we kind of improve on what we did before, and right here, this is what we're gonna do. Something like that. We've been doing that for 4 years. Why do we do that? Because if you have a silicone coupler right next to your heat from your exhaust manifold, you'll melt it sometimes, and that's something you gotta be like checking and maintaining. This way, the worst that could happen is you'll melt the O-ring that goes in there, but it doesn't get that hot, and we have a lot of Inconel shielding. It's just easy to use, lines up, it doesn't leak. And then the cool thing is now we're gonna have some titanium charge piping. More surprises for you guys, but that's a lot of talking. That's the update right now. When the car's lower, we'll show you a little bit more of what's going on. Told you when the car was lower, we would check out what's in the engine bay.